What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another season. Yankee baseball. We are here. Spring training is in effect. They had their first game yesterday, 2-0 loss, but today they unleashed on the Detroit Tigers, 20-3. Before we go over it, gotta give a shout out to everybody in the chat. What's going on? Beagles here, Jonathan, Cruise Control. What's going on? Ken, the ugly truth is here. All right. Buckeyes here. Buckeye, how you doing, my man? All right. Yes, they do. 10,000 home runs. That's right. That is right. Who else we have here? We have the usual crew right now. Someone born in the USA. Not necessarily Beagle. They can have dual citizenship. They can have family members from another country, so on and so forth. And I mean, they may not. They may have been born somewhere else, but they live in the USA now. So it is what it is. That happens all the time, especially in the Olympics. Teams, athletes from other countries, and some, especially in the Olympics, it's hard to make the Olympic team. And I'll just give you an example: Kenya, the distance runners. It's hard to make the distance running team in Kenya. It's almost impossible. So now a lot of them will switch their citizenship to the Netherlands, make it easier to make the team there, especially because they can compete for a medal. So you may not make the team in Kenya, but you can make the team and potentially compete for a medal for another country. So it just happens. And it's a way of getting some of the best competition in the world out there. Sawdust, what is going on? American-born Pollock, exactly. Sports Talk is in the building. Brandon Moore is in the building. What is going on? Andres Montez here. All in Poveda. What's going on? Sepulveda. All right. Blum is in the building. Mary Ellen, good evening. Renzo, what is good? Yeah, 20-3 butt kicking today at the hands of the Yankees. The Consigliere is in the building. The Consigliere is in the building. Now it's a party. The King of Texas and the Prime Minister of Texas are both in the building. Buckeye and the Consigliere. The two main men in Texas are both in here. Right? Dominguez AAA. Yeah, we'll get to that too. I mean, we'll get your input. I want to get your input on this type of stuff. Right? Yankees should give Janice Chisholm more Soto money. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but he's gonna have to have a big he's gonna have to have a big year if he wants the type of money. If he was interviewed and his ask, and I don't know, I mean, obviously, does he even think he's gonna get it and whatnot? But if he puts forth a good year, it's a very weak free agent class next year and the year after. So he'll be the top second baseman out there. His ask is 8 to 10 years at 35 per, which is essentially what, 240 for 8, 280, excuse me, 280 for 8, 350 for 10. So, but that's his apparent ask. But let's box score this. Okay, today Dominguez was 1 for 2, and there's a lot of guys because right now in spring training, a lot of guys are just getting an inning or two, a couple innings, a couple of at-bats, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and if he's in the building, there he is. That's the King of Colorado right there, too. The Prince of Colorado, right in the building right there. So Jason Dominguez was 1 for 2 with an RBI. He had a seeing eye double. The outfielder lost the ball in the air in the sun, and he made a double. So, and George Lombard for 1 with a ribby. Aaron Judge 2 for 3 with two-run home runs right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, man. Then you had, what's his name? Garrett Martin replacing Aaron Judge, who was 0 for 2 with a ribby. Ryan McMahon was 1 for 3 with an opposite field double. He's made some modifications. They're working on tweaking his stance. He had a wide stance last year, and it really affected his ability to generate movement throughout the hips. So they're narrowing his stance, and hopefully this in an effort to stay within the zone a little bit more. You kind of noticed it already today with that nice opposite field double. So hopefully he can continue to build on that. And obviously he's got an elite glove. And then he was replaced by 21-year-old Roderick Arias, who's been with the Yankees for like 4 years. he's been a bust, but today he had a monster game. He was 2 for 3 with a grand slam. So kudos to him for that. He needed that. Goldie, Paul Goldschmidt was 2 for 3 with 2 ribbies. Right? Marco Luciano for 1. Seth Brown was 1 for 3. Yorbit Vivas 1 for 3. Paul DeYoung 1 for 2. Patrick, is it Patrick? Yeah, Peyton, excuse me. Peyton Henry came in behind the plate. He was 3 for 3. Guy's batting 600 right now. Spencer Jones, 1 for 3 with an absolute moonshot of a home run. He hit it over everything. It just might have just gone to another state the way he hit that ball. Unbelievable, Spencer Jones. Right? And then replacing him later on was Jackson Castillo, another one. He was 1 for 2 with a 3-run home run. These guys are definitely not giving up at bats. They're going out and they're taking advantage of these guys. And right now, you're going to see a lot of guys who are competing to either get promoted in the minors or to maybe make a roster spot here at 26, even a bench spot. So there's quite a few guys that are going to compete for some of these spots. Then you had Max Schumann, a guy I talked about recently. He's 0 for 0 with a run scored with a couple good defensive plays today. And then you had Tyler Hardman, who was 1 for 2. Then Ali Sanchez was behind the plate, 1 for 3. He was replaced by Duke Ellis, who was 0 for 2. Now on the mound, Carlos Lagrange, he went 2 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts, and 53 pitches. He's got some pretty good stuff, but I think he's got to work on his command a little bit more. But if he gets his command better and he can get 4 significant pitches, then I think he'll be really, really good starting pitcher. I think Elmer Rodriguez Cruz has a much better shot at making the team right now. For Carlos Green this year, if he's going to make the team, it probably should be out of the bullpen. He's got to increase his repertoire of pitches or his pitch selection. Then he's replaced by lefty Will Bryan, pitched a third of an inning, got in and out. And then David Bednar came in with a scoreless inning. And then Fernando Cruz came in with a scoreless inning. Bednar threw 6 pitches, Cruz threw 6. Bednar threw 10, Cruz threw 6. Talk about economical. And Harrison Cohen, a guy I've talked about recently too, young pitcher, he came in with a scoreless inning too. And then you had Drake Fellows coming in with a scoreless inning. Actually, not a scoreless inning, but he gave up 1 run. It was unearned run, and with 2 walks. And then Brock Selvage came in and got 4 outs, 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. So Selvage looked good. And again, this could be a reason why Yankees didn't really spend a lot on free agency and a starting pitching, right? Because of guys like Brock Selvage, guys like Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. So, these are some other guys to look out for, right? And I've talked about Harrison Cohen, a couple of these other guys, and then we'll see what happens with Ben Hess. And you got Bryce Cunningham, and you got some of these other guys, Chase Hampton. You got some really, really, really big promising arms here in the Yankees farm. But today it was just with a few starters. I guess they had a couple today, and the majority of the offense scored 20 runs. Take away Aaron Judge, they still scored 16 runs. So, and just like the Dodgers, they won 15-2 today over the Angels. Then the Guardians went 9-6 over the Brewers. Giants 10-5 over the Mariners. Rockies 11-6 over the Diamondbacks. White Sox 11-2 over the Athletics. The Guardians 4-2 over the Reds. Padres 10-3 over the Royals. The Rangers 3-2 over the Cubs. The Marlins 2-1 over the Mets. The Blue Jays 3-0 over the Phillies. Pirates 8-2 over the Orioles. Rest in peace, Bill Mazeroski, by the way, passed away. He hit that walk-off home run in the 1960 World Series to win the World Series for the Pirates. May he rest in peace. Red Sox 7-2 over the Twins. Nationals 2-1 over the Astros. In the split squad, and the Nationals went 6-2 over the Cardinals. Braves 5-1 over the Rays. And that's it for the baseball today, right? So it was we saw some good signs from the Yankees, right? And again, there's still a lot. With the World Baseball Classic coming, the Yankees have, I think, 8 players going. A lot of these other guys are going to get a lot of opportunities. So we'll see some of these other guys quite a bit, and guys that are going to compete for some spots and for some promotions and stuff. So we'll get a really good chance to see. But we have an idea of what the starting lineup is going to be for the most part. But we still have to, the fourth outfielder has not yet to be determined. Um, there's a righty bat here and there. It could be a right-handed catch. We have to see what they're going to do some of these other positions, right? And and I'm not sure of Spencer Jones. I mean, he might be blocked, but if he's blocked, I'd rather him, stay in AAA and develop and play regularly. And then when he gets an opportunity, because I have a feeling he's the best position to um, replace Trent Grisham, who I don't think will be back after 2026. I think he'll get a job. He'll get a free agent contract somewhere else. I think Spencer Jones will be primed to take over in center field after that. But he's got to have another. He's got to keep progressing. He's made some adjustments to his. I talked about this week to his stance and you saw it today. His stance now, he's got this tap in the front foot, turns and then turns. It's almost identical to Shohei Ohtani. He took away the kick and he turned it into this tapping thing, which goes away towards, and then with a pretty powerful swing. So he's making some mechanical adjustments too, and he's only in his third year as a hitter, so he's a little bit behind some of these other players, right? Yeah, the toe tap. Transparency. And if you look at Ohtani, it's very similar to what Ohtani's doing. So, but the toe tap hex, you got that right, Buckeye. It looks better than that front leg lifting kick that he's had the other years. That I think had him behind pitches way too often. And this toe tap will definitely be able to keep him in the zone a little bit longer. Just like Ryan McMahon, the hope is narrowing that stance is going to keep them in the zone a little bit longer, right? So. And I personally, I don't really care if Spencer Jones strikes out 200 times a year. If he's hitting between 30 and 40 home runs, he's getting on base, he's playing elite defense in the outfield, and he has OPS of between 8 and 900. I don't care if he strikes out 200 times a year. I really don't. But I know other people do. No. Why is Jazz? That's a good question, Lorenzo. I don't know. Yeah, that is a good question. He'll continue to work on his stance. These guys, this is the best time to work on the mechanics right now. Right, to work on these, fine tune some of these things. And McMahon's going to work on that. Jones is going to work on that. Although quite a few of these guys are going to work on it. And the other, the pitchers are obviously going to be working on release points and more consistent, aren't building up the strength and so on and so forth. So the Bahamas are part of the Commonwealth. Oh, that's right. The guy with the size of Jones. Yeah, I mean, keeping it tight. That exactly the long leg lift, and he was moving forward, and it kept him behind in the zone a lot. Despite even though he hit 35 home runs, this might, make it. He might unlock something pretty good here. So, Lorenzo, you think to come to contact? Just be consistent, be honest. CWA. I mean, I know he's better than Dominguez. It's pretty obvious. But again, it's got to extrapolate beyond today. He clearly has a higher ceiling, clearly. But again, it's got to be consistent. So I'm not going to be tooting my horn just yet, CWA. I don't think it's pointless to do that. But in terms of content creation, just be consistent, right? Be honest, and do your homework. Just do your research and bring something like the way I do it is I try to bring some information, even if it's a short. I want you to find out or learn something that you didn't know yesterday. That's why I put forth certain things in my shorts. People might not care. Some people don't want to care about, but it's something that is not talked about anywhere else. So, and that's where I want to differentiate. So, if you can figure out a way to differentiate yourself, that's a good thing. Jones's fielding is better than Dominguez. Yeah, I mean that's where Dominguez needs to work on his defense. He clearly has talent, obviously. There he is, McMahon. What's good, man? Yeah, I mean whatever is going to work for his to kind of make his swing more fluid and efficient, right? Mechanically sound for Spencer Jones, because you're right, he is a huge guy, and the less movement, the better. It's like Judge. I mean, he's got this. Stays in the zone. He works in these very specific mechanical drills, and he just explodes through the zone. And that's what I saw with Jones today. I mean, you couldn't even see the ball where he hit it. He hit it out of everything. So, and he's got light tower power. So, but it's got to be consistent. But I also want him to do the other things, hit singles and doubles and steal bases and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, we'll see, Rob. I mean, if I had to guess, if I had to guess, I think Spencer Jones has better trade value, but I think they probably want to trade Dominguez over Jones. I know they've been shopping him quietly, Dominguez. That I know. But it depends on what you get. Depends what you get. Like, I'm not going to move either one of them unless I'm getting a good arm in return. A good arm in return with controllable years. So it's yeah. Jones is he's got some serious power, Buckeye. He's got some serious power. Now we just if we mechanically get more sound and he's hitting the ball more square in the zone, then I think he'll be much better off. No. I don't know about that transparency. Jones has pretty decent average. It's about 270, 280. His OPS is in the 900s. He also hits a bunch of doubles. He steals a bunch of singles. He steals a bunch of bases too. He had 35 home runs this year and 29 steals. He reminds me more of Ellie De La Cruz than he does Aaron Judge, in all honesty, because of his speed and his athleticism. But Judge is a rare talent. I don't know anybody who can, aside from Ohtani, who can hit the ball just anywhere like Judge does. Those are the only two guys that I know that can hit the ball that way. Ohtani can hit an opposite field home run, up center, right. Judge can do the same thing. So those guys are to me, the two best players in baseball. You know. Yeah, I don't worry about what other people say. Transparent. Just like I didn't see the point in comparing Dominguez to Mike Trout and Mickey Mantle. Dominguez never put forth stats to make that comparison sensible. Jones's numbers dwarf Dominguez's numbers in the minors. But why would you compare him to Aaron Judge? Just because he's big? Like, I understand people saying he's a left-handed version. Okay, fine. But I think, again, like I said, I think he reminds me more of Ellie De La Cruz than Judge. And Judge, he does need more time to play. This is his third year as a hitter. He's a converted pitcher. So, no, I know a lot of other people do make the comparison, yeah, and I don't see the point. I don't know why. Right? It's ridiculous. Just look at the numbers, right? You look at the numbers. I mean, Jones's numbers are good. Jones's numbers in the minors are better than Judge's are were in the minors. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to come here and hit 52 runs as a rookie. Like, that's just Judge. It transitions smoothly to the majors, and he's made for this place. So I'm hoping that Jones is too, but we'll see. So I'm not going to bet anything, but I don't see the point in giving up on him. And like I said, I don't, me liking Jones does not mean I hate Dominguez. I know a lot of people say that I hate Dominguez just because I say I like Jones. I like them both. And I'll say this again. Jones carries himself like a pro, right? So does Dominguez. Carries himself like a pro, answers the hard questions, plays the game the right way. And he should be, acknowledged for that. So I think it's more, yeah, transparent. I think it's a more sensible comparison to Ellie De La Cruz than Judge. Judge is he's a generational player, right? Ellie De La Cruz is not a generational player yet. He's a talent. He's a big time talent, but Judge is a whole nother level. So, yes, he does put the offseason mark. Yes, he does, and he will influence you. And yes, he can. Buckeye, you're 100% right. He sets an example. He sets the tone, and the young guys look up to him. So, am I okay with the Yankees being this year? Being what this year, Luis? Am I okay with the Yankees this year? Yeah, I'm okay with the Yankees this year. Why wouldn't I be? Are you okay with them this year, Luis? I'm okay with them. Yeah, yeah, man. Cole, he's starting to look like himself again. Looks like he has a brand new arm. So, but again, they're going to ease him back and do it the right way so they can build up his strength and make sure that he's fully recovered from Tommy John. And they got to be smart about it. Now, the Yankees lost their first one yesterday, clean 2-0 to the Orioles, and they played mostly the Orioles starting lineup for the most part, with the minus Jackson Holiday. And they played Detroit Tigers today. And even the guy that Spencer Jones hit that home run off of, he was a pretty good pitcher for the Tigers last year. The Yankees just, they had a couple starters today. Judge was in there, but there was no Jazz. There was no, Austin Wells. Like a bunch of these other guys were not in there. But it's just the other guys just unleashed. Roderick Arias. Some of these young players unleashed on the Tigers. So, I don't know. No, it's too early to announce that, transparency. It's too early to announce that. I'm not sure Jazz is going to get traded. I mean, who would you trade him for? That'd be my question. Who would we trade him for? Jazz is who he is, right? He speaks his mind. That's for darn sure. He doesn't get him trouble. So, yeah, they're not going to trade him for Nico Horner. The Cubs want pitching. I would trade pitching for Nico Horner, but they won't trade him for Horner. They don't need him. The Cubs don't need him. Do I think the Yankees need one more? I'm not sure. I think Jazz will probably get a qualifying offer. But we'll see. I don't know. The Yankees will probably make him an offer if he plays well again. But at the next year, I mean, if George Lombard's ready, you have guys like Dax Kilby and Keenan Kent, and if Volpe's still here, Volpe can play second, which is why I thought he was a better fit anyway than shortstop. So, yeah, I mean, look, if Jazz hits 40 home run, 40 goes 40-40 this year, or it's 40 home runs, I mean, that's a pretty good year. Right? Marcus is in the building. What's good, Marcus? What's up? So, I mean, Jazz is a good player, man, right? If he hits, if Jazz is traded, who would play second? If they didn't make any other trades, like a Jazz, that would have to be part of a trade to get maybe a piece. Then you could then flip for Nico Horner, but they're not going to trade Jazz directly for Nico Horner. Kopech is a guy that he's probably the best free agent target available for the Yankees, and Garrett Clevenger, I think, is the best trade option available for the Yankees for the bullpen. They are looking to add a high velocity, good guy who's got good experience at the majors right now. So, yeah, I think Volpe. Yeah, Volpe could be second, Lombard could be short for I don't know. But I personally would. I would love Nico Horner. Nico Horner, he kills lefties. He's an elite defender in the infield too. He's known for clutch. He's got speed. He's a gamer. So, I would love that guy. It would be great if he played short and Jazz was at second this year. Right? That'd be a pretty damn good infield. McMahon and then, Rice at first. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I have no idea. I want it to happen, but I don't know. I know they were still in dialogue as of a couple days ago with the Cubs. Yeah, Volpe will be out at least. Yeah, I think they're probably going to, like I mentioned, the Yankees can get an extra year of service time for Volpe if they sit him out 20 games or 20 days once he gets off the IL. If they basically option the AAA, which I would do anyway. I would get him some minor league rehab games anyway. I'm not going to just put him back up in the majors. And especially if Caballero is playing well, I'm not going to sit somebody who's playing well just because Volpe's coming up. Volpe's got to win the job back, man. Can't just be handed to him. No, no. I'm telling you, Marcus. All right. The old yes, he can. Right. The old man's got that. Yeah, he's a glovesman. Dudes he can still scoop. Yeah, I mean, I personally I wouldn't trade Jazz, but I would if you can get Horner without trading Jazz. I mean, sign me up for that. I would not. I would not rush Volpe back. Yeah, the Scherzers and he was in talks with the Blue Jays yesterday. Max Scherzer. Yeah, Caballero could be taking his job. He's a good. I mean, look, he's a solid defender. Plays multiple positions. He's got speed. He's got good energy. You know. And again, if Caballero's playing well, why the hell would you sit him? I wouldn't sit him. He could be our leadoff hitter, a table setter. Why would you sit that? Mm-mm. We'll see. They were in dialogue with the Yankees 3 days ago regarding Horner. They're not gonna just give him away though. They're gonna get a. They're gonna want a pretty big price for him. Oh, they can get Horner. Transparency. They can get Horner. They are super deep in pitching, and the Cubs want pitching for Horner. They can definitely get Horner. Hmm. Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. So I mean, what do you guys think about this? Who do I think they would give up? For Horner? No, Schlittler. No, not gonna give up Schlittler. You know, maybe Luis Hill, maybe Will Warren. Uh, One of those guys would probably have to go. Hmm, maybe another pitching prospect. Remember, it's 1 year Horner. It's not 2 year, 3 years of Horner. It's 1 year. But you'd have to give up probably Hill or Warren at the major league level, and then some prospects beyond that. And it's need for need. The Cubs need pitching. The Yankees need a right-handed bat, and Horner can be the leadoff hitter. And could you let's just say they somehow got Horner. Like to me, because I think Cody Bellinger's best position in the lineup is second. Right? You put Horner leadoff, which is automatically going to give Cody Bellinger more opportunities. They're going to pitch to Bellinger a lot more often because they're not going to want to walk him if Horner's on base and have Judge batting on a regular basis with two guys on base. They're going to have to pitch to Bellinger more often if Horner's on base. So strategically, it just makes sense for that 1, 2, 3 to happen, right? It won't be Hill and Warren. It'll probably be Hill or Warren. Um, could be Hill or Warren, and let's just say Bryce Cunningham or something like that. Hmm. I'm not sure they're going to give up Lagrange or Hess. That's quite a bit. But you never know. Oh, they'll definitely, Mary, you're right. You're absolutely right, Marion. They will ask the Yankees for the moon. Look, they're going to ask for the moon. The Yankees are going to come in the clouds. They're going to have to settle somewhere in between. That's how a trade happens, right? The ask is always high. The offer is always low. They're going to have to negotiate and meet somewhere in between. That's just negotiating 101. Just like the Yankees. Whenever they make a trade too, you want one of the Yankees players, they ask for the moon too. So it's just the way that it is. But a good trade, yeah, both sides will feel some pain. Iscara, don't be surprised if they trade him for a bullpen arm. like I mentioned, Garrett Clevenger from the Rays. They're looking for a catcher. A Scar straight up for Clevenger might be a pretty decent trade. Time frame on our starters. What I'm hearing is late May, early June for Cole. Late April, early May for Rodon. Probably August for Clark Schmidt. Somewhere around there, Buckeye. No, Marion, that's yeah. There's a couple of these guys that right-handed catchers that are in camp right now that are pretty decent. So they might have him in house already. We'll see. A Clevenger would be a huge get. Huge get. My goodness. I know that they're happy with the bullpen, but they want another high leverage arm who's proven at the major league. They don't want to have a bunch of guys who they have to make better, right? They want a guy to come in that's already doing the thing, right? Clevenger is one of those guys. Kopech is one of those guys when he's healthy, right? So, I think I could see Carlos Legrand. I can see in the bullpen later on this year. He's got to increase his pitch repertoire. I mean, he's got a good fastball. A lot of times doesn't have movement, right? But it's fast. If you can get some movement to that and add, a couple of secondary pitches and a tertiary pitch, then he'll be closer to, generally starters will have pretty 4 pitches. Relievers, you can get away with 2. So until he increases his repertoire, like an El Rodriguez Cruz, I think he's better suited for the pen, and El Rodriguez is better suited for the rotation. Yep, Chase Hampton's coming back too. He looks pretty decent too. And he was the Yankees' most highly touted pitching prospect. He was over all these guys. And then once he had Tommy John, now he's behind all of them in terms of the pecking order. But Hampton, don't be surprised if he surpasses them. Just like don't be surprised if Dax Kilby surpasses George Lombard Jr. this year as the Yankees' #1 prospect. AJ, what's going on, man? What's up? And smack the like button, everybody, if you haven't done that yet. So you can get the likes up. It's just good to be back with the family again. Good to be back with all of you. Appreciate you. Miss you guys. Now it's time to talk baseball again. This is it. You know we get tomorrow? We get the Mets tomorrow. The Mets. And tomorrow is, what time do they play tomorrow? The schedule. Mets Yankees 1:05 p.m. It's going to be Justin Hagenman for the Mets and Luis Hill for the Yankees. He could be the next Alan Betances. Yeah, he could be. He really, really could. Dax he has an advanced offensive skill set. Yeah, his bat is where they hope Lombard's bat gets to. His bat is above Lombard's. Lombard's glove is above his. Kilby. Lombard had some good. Yes, he did that backhand play when he went up to the right and got the runner out with the bounce to first base. It's kind of Jeter-esque play. Yeah, the Yankees can still make trades. All teams can make trades, and don't be surprised if trades happen in spring training. They usually do. When the Yankees in March is when the Yankees in 1999 traded David Wells to the Blue Jays for Roger Clemens. It happened in March during spring training. No. Those Spurs is right. Wemby's a beast. Yeah, Paul DeJong, Seth Brown. Those 2 guys I'm looking out for too. They could be, veteran guys who can compete for a bench spot. And a lot of these guys have opt-outs too. So if they're not on the 26-man roster by a certain date, they can opt out of their contract and become a free agent. So, but DeJong is a good-looking player. So is Seth Brown. There's a couple of good guys with some major league experience here. Yeah, Dax is 18? George Lombard is 20, right? My goodness. DJ. Yeah, right-handed hitters is right. This is right, DeJong. Yeah. And that right-handed catcher, was it Peyton Henry? Is that the guy today? I think his name is Peyton Henry. He looked pretty good. He looked pretty good today too. Selvage looked good today. Harrison Cohen looked good today. What the hell is his name? Peyton Henry? Yeah, Peyton Henry. Right hand. He's a right-handed hitting catcher. Yep. DeYoung, Seth Brown. Yep. Peyton Henry. Right. Yep. They have some pretty good right-handed bats in-house already. So I'm glad they brought in a lot of these guys. And watch out for Nicholas Torres too. Another guy. He's the Mexican League MVP. This guy's known for hitting with power and contact skills. So, and having a clutch hitting gene. So any one of these guys can make. And if they don't make the team, hopefully they stick around to give them depth at AAA. So that if they can be called up later on when the Yankees need some guys, if somebody gets hurt or somebody, whatever, they have some really good guys in AAA that can bring them up. Nicholas Torres, NRI. What's the NRI list? I'm also waiting for Rafael Montero to come. He hasn't shown up to camp yet because he's having a trouble with his visa. I know they're working on that in the back end, but he hasn't arrived at camp yet. Yeah, the Gotham app. Yes, I'm here. It's driving a lot of people crazy. The Gotham app. What's the NRI list? Cruise control. What is that? A non-roster invite. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, because they signed him to a minor league deal, so he's not on the 40-man roster. So we'll see him. We'll see him get in some games. 8:10 a.m. B-Dad? What's that, Mary Ellen? Non-roster invite, yes. There's quite a few guys. That list that came up had about 30 guys on it. And the Yankees have 70 guys at camp. They made 2 cuts already, but they have about 70 guys at camp. So that's just going to pare back. That's going to pare down. What's B-Dad, Mary Ellen? 8:10 a.m. I'm curious. What are y'all looking out for during spring training? Are there any players that you're keeping your eyes on? Beagle Dad, yes. Okay, I got you now. I got it. Okay. What players are you guys and gals keeping your eyes out for? I'm looking for a couple guys. Just want to keep pay special. Nicholas Torres is one of them. Obviously, Spencer Jones. Want to see him take the next step forward. Because I don't think they have their 4th outfielder solidified yet either. First base, that's right. Oh, so would I. Outplay Dominguez. Yeah. 100% Beagle. No. DeYoung, Seth Brown, Nicholas Torres, Spencer Jones. Yep. Those are kind of some guys that I'm looking out for too. Caballero does a short. Yeah, I want to see him get in there too. Yeah. Can't wait to see Cam Schlittler get in there. Jake Bird. He pitched good yesterday, Mary Ellen. He had a good inning yesterday. Scoreless inning. And he's looking pretty good right now. He's got a nasty sinker, and he could be a secret weapon in the bullpen. Yeah, be careful there, Beagle. Be very careful. Great nephew. Huh. Be careful, dude. He is a good shortstop. He is. I think Paul Goldschmidt is as good of a mentor as we can get for Ben Rice at first base. But keep in mind too, that guy Nicholas Torres, he plays first base, and they have that what's that guy's name? The prospect that they signed to minor league deal up from the Brewers. A towering left-handed guy. He plays first base also. So they've got a couple of good first base candidates as well, aside from Rice and Goldschmidt. Fire alarm, my gosh. Be careful, man. Yeah, I wanted to see Jones win the fourth outfield spot too. Yeah. I mean, this is the first time the Yankees have brought in this much depth who can capably make a major league roster. Like this depth I think, is better than the Franchi Cordero, Willie Calhoun group, and some of those guys. So, Jake Bird. I think Goldie will be back I think he'll be a good help to Ben Rice this year, and he knows his role. He's not going to take away bats from Ben Rice. He's going to help him. This is true too. No such thing as the next Marine. It's a lifer. You're Marine for life. Yep. Prison guard. Yeah. You got to take that with you there into the prison. You got to be on guard all the time. Rafael Montero is not in camp yet. He's having a problem with his visa. So the Yankees are working on the back end. There's something going on with his travel visa that has prevented him from being in camp yet. So Angel Tree, yeah, exactly. Cade Winquist, Camilo Duvall. We haven't seen any of these guys yet. There's a lot of guys we haven't seen. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these guys. Oh, Angel Tree, he'll make the team. I'd be shocked if he doesn't make the team. For Montero, I don't know. As long as he's staying, sharp and fit over there while they work on this stuff, he'll be all right. And he's got playoff experience. He's a veteran, so I think he'll be okay. If he makes the team, he'll make like $1.8 million if he makes the team. So they signed him to a minor league deal with an invite spring training, but they have the if he makes the team, caveat to his contract. It becomes $1.8 million if he does make the Major League 26. Cade Winquist, another one. Yep. There's a lot of guys we haven't seen yet. We will see, but they're going to ease a lot of these guys in. They're definitely going to use a lot of Winquist Rule 5. Yep. Winquist and Augustine, that catcher. Like Ramirez. Is it Ramirez? Catcher. They just they optioned them out to the minors already, but he's the guy that might be. Yeah, he'll get some shot in spring training too. He's another. This is the first time the Yankees pick guys in Rule 5 draft in over a decade. They picked two, catcher and Winquist. Oswaldo Cabrera being back is a good thing too. And I do think Caballero is probably a better player overall, offers more offensively and speed. So, but if Cabrera makes the team on the bench, then I'm cool with that too. But yeah, 1.8 is on the cheap, Buckeye. You got that right. For Montero, yes. I wonder what they can get Michael Kopech for. I wonder what contract he would make. Or he would demand or expect. Yep. Oswaldo Cabrera just brings great energy to the team. He's just a great teammate. He's a solid player. Abraham Gutierrez. That's right. Yeah, they're optioned in the AAA already. There's a lot of catchers here competing right now. So they want to get that Gutierrez some regular time because I think he could be their AAA catcher, at least right now. But he's also a right-handed bat. So I would not be surprised if the Yankees called him up at some point this year. Even if they traded somebody like Escara, they can bring in somebody like either Peyton Henry or Abraham Gutierrez to be the backup catcher because there's always going to be a catcher on the bench. Every four-man bench has a catcher on it. Ernesto Martinez, the first base. He's got went deep today, right? So that's Oswaldo Rosario. My God, I mean, it's just be a fun bench, high energy bench. I think we haven't had that in a while. And Goldschmidt's probably going to be on the bench. And but who's going to be the other one, right? Either way, it's going to be a solid bench. That's for darn sure. That's why I mean I want to keep an eye on and see what they do on the catcher front. Who didn't go deep? Yeah, I know. I know. I hope it's Jones. I mean, I hope Spencer Jones makes the team. I really hope he does. But if he doesn't, let's just get him in AAA, get him as much you know play as possible. Just play him full time and let him keep developing. He's only 24, so he's young. I don't know why people keep saying he's over 30. He's 24 years old. I don't know who keeps saying that, but a lot of people say that. I don't know why. But that's where the Yankees are at right now. There's still a lot of moving pieces. So dumpster, exactly, exactly right. I think they're going to be better than people give them credit for. Once they find their groove, their mojo, I think they're going to be fine. Yep, I think they'll be fine. Yes, indeed. But that's it, guys. That's it. I wanted to get on here and just get together with y'all again for a little while. I'll try to get in here live tomorrow too after the Mets game because I think that'll be a fun one to watch. I want to see if we see any Bo Bichette or Juan Soto or whatnot, and it's going to be at George Steinbrenner Field too. So area, yeah, I mean that could be it. It could increase his trade value. Roderick Harris had grand slam today. Marcus, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think it'll be a good year too. Don't be surprised if they win more games than they did last year. Yep. Yeah, first game exactly. Right, exactly. Yes, indeed. Now it's back to the groove. Spring training's here, but we'll really be full steam ahead during the regular season. Obviously, during the games and post games and everything, we'll be back up and running. The normal. But yeah, but let me let y'all go. Appreciate y'all coming on. Wanted to keep it short and sweet today. Just tell you that I miss y'all. I love you guys, and we're back. Let's make it happen again. 98 games. You'll sign me up for that, Buckeye. Sign me up for 98. I think that can win the AL East. It's gonna be, yeah. I mean, we might see Soto and Bichette tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Right? We'll see. And they'll definitely be there. I think at least so. But it's a good, nice welcome back, guys. So go enjoy your night. Peace and love to all of yous. And we'll be back probably tomorrow. I'll see you then.